do you have the text somewhere? Is it
Yep.
in Messenger?
Yeah. So we
Oh,
are
there it is.
live,
Okay. Oh,
and
we're live.
I'd sent it to you in Messenger. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove you from the stage. I'm going to talk for a little bit, and when you come back, wave at me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Funny start here today. This is Tellman Knudson. Welcome to Get Shit Done, episode 49. We've been going every single day since January 1st, 2025. And we had a little bit of a rushed and clumsy start to today's episode. Eric and I just both jumped on. I was having camera problems, blah, blah, blah. So he's just plugging in the post description and co-streaming out to his channels right now in the background. Again, just give me, I should see when you're streaming, Eric, and or give me a wave whenever you're ready. And so we're going to get started here in a minute, but yesterday during hey Eric,
Hey, I'm
welcome
here. All right.
Yesterday, so we have this community at getshitdone.com. It's a school group, and it's all entrepreneurs who want to get more shit done, who want to increase their productivity, who want to get better at taking action, who want to get better at overcoming procrastination, who want to get better at not making excuses and getting more shit done, making more progress in the direction of their goals more quickly, achieving greater financial results in many cases, and having a more productive, more fulfilling life, right? And so you can join our membership. We just reopened the doors from paid to free membership for a limited time. You can get a lifetime free membership to our Get Shit Done community while the doors are still open for free at getshitdone.com. We just had our weekly work party yesterday at noon Eastern, where we get together and we do the work. We do the shit work with the stuff that is the stuff that you're procrastinating on the most. That's also the most needle moving stuff, the stuff that will grow your business the fastest, the biggest, give you the most immediate positive impact that you also are just not doing, right? And so we schedule that time in and we focus on getting shit done during that time. And we had a conversation during that work party yesterday with Eric and Curtis, both co-hosts of the Get Shit Done show. This is Eric right here, in case this is your first episode.
Hey guys.
And we talked about what to teach, what to sell, what to talk about on your webinars or on your live streams and so on. And we spent a lot of time talking about webinars specifically, I think because webinars are an excellent internet-based live sales tool. One of currently, I would say, the single best internet-based live sales tool, right? Where you can sell your products or services. You can often give a demonstration and experience of your products or services. You can use webinars and or Zoom meetings in order to have one-on-one conversations, have a one-on-one sales call, and you can turn around and then fulfill your products and services in many cases using the very same webinar-based tool, whether it's Zoom or one of the competitors, right? But that means nothing if you don't know what you're teaching, how you're attracting people, what you're helping them with at a deep level. And so anyway, Eric, you said you wanted to continue that conversation.
Yeah. I felt like we were onto some good stuff there.
Why? So what was valuable enough about that conversation that you wanted to continue it?
Well, currently the webinars that I'm presenting are really based around the product and opportunity that I'm working with. And something that really stood out about the webinar that I co-hosted with you, that you led for your hypnosis clients, was how it was purely value-based. It was just providing something that that your audience really wanted. Even if they didn't buy anything from you, there was people
Right.
at the end asking, like, really adamant about wanting the replay so that they could
Right.
watch it again.
Right.
That's, I feel like, a very strong indication that you provided a lot of value during a webinar. And yeah, I'm wanting to be able to deliver something of more value to my audience, whether or not they want to do business with me.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
So, so then you are going to need to be willing to teach something or share something where you probably don't feel qualified.
Okay.
Okay. Because everyone doesn't feel qualified until they've done it a few times. And then all of a sudden they feel qualified. Right.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's the old statement or adage about, the way to really learn something is to teach it.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So, we've already talked about short form video, and that's a specific skill that will be relevant for a few more years and then won't be relevant anymore, most likely, or at least not as impactful as it is right now. So it's a flash in the pan, but it's value, but that's good. Flashes in the pan are good to use, especially if you have something you can teach people, you can share with people, they want to learn it, you want to get better at it.
Right.
AI is a great example. Like AI is so good because it's changing and growing so fast.
Yep.
And some of the copywriting, people who are combinations of like copywriters and tech people in the marketing space are just blowing up right now because they're nerdy, they're curious, they're wanting to play with this new tool that is confusing to everyone, and they're so you can use it to do all sorts of amazing things, and copywriting is actually just the beginning, right? It's
Sure.
and so you can demonstrate what you're teaching, you can demonstrate what you're going to be teaching, and find a way of sharing it. Well, before we get into more of this, let's start off with a little positive focus. I kind of jumped right into it while I was waiting for you to get back on. I should have just started with my positive focus, but
Right.
I distracted myself. So,
Yep.
positive focus. I am happy that we are beginning to start systemizing the workflow for the Get Shit Done team. I'm stoked that we are putting processes and systems into place. And it's funny because I resist I can think of them, I can map them out, I can give other people advice, but I resist implementing them and doing them for myself. And
Right.
so I'm glad that we're starting to do that, and we're starting to see some results, and starting to see some progress, like the short form videos that you're putting out in order to after we finish doing our episode is great. And we're starting to get shit done, edited episodes that I'm editing in Descript, and we're making the videos shorter. We're adding nice captions. We're making the sound quality better. We're cutting out all the ahs and the ums and the repeated words to make the videos more concise and watchable and shareable. And that's really great. And so I'm looking for, we're building the machine, we're building the system, and I'm stoked. It's really
Awesome.
good. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that too.
Yeah. How about
Cool.
you?
Well, okay, so my positive focus is a productivity hack that I just started using yesterday. I'm sure it's not a new technique, but it was new to me. And it's something that I saw a post from Jennifer Glacken. She's a top network marketing leader.
Okay.
And I told her I would try it, and she wanted to hear how it went for me. If she happens to be watching, it worked really well. And yeah, basically what it is, it's the Pomodoro technique. And 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Rinse and repeat a bunch of times, or like 3 or 4 times. And what I find that's working really well for me is 25 minutes of focused work is a short enough commitment to where it doesn't feel like, it's like not overwhelming at all.
Right.
And it's such a short time block that it creates this sense of urgency where
Right.
I actually have to get it done in that block of time or
Right.
as much done as I can.
Right.
And what that does is it makes me work harder, faster, more focused. I don't succumb to distractions. Whereas if I'm working like a full hour time block, it's such a, it's not that long a time block, but it feels more spacious to where maybe I might get distracted. I mean, because that's the thing about internet marketing. You're working on Facebook where there's just endless distractions. You get stuck, like just sucked into the scroll,
No, you
answering
need to choose.
messages.
You need to choose who you're going to communicate with very intentionally, and what you
Exactly.
are or aren't going to. What like you can't, dude. You might want to. You might want to get a ad blocker. Um,
Okay.
there's a few different types of software that are out there that will basically strip out all the BS on social and on
Yep.
and on Facebook in particular in order to eh, prevent you from being served ads, right? And I think you have to like pay $5 a month for it or something. There are a few different ones that are out there, but look up social media ad blockers for your phone.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Because that doesn't mean you won't get distracted by people's posts,
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, it's mostly that anyway.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm finding the Pomodoro technique is really helping with that. It just keeps my blinders on and stay focused. And yeah, so it's like 25 minutes of focused work, and then you set another timer for 5 minutes where you just take a break and reset, recharge, recalibrate, think about
right,
what you're going to do next. And then you set another 25-minute timer and get
right.
back to work. Do that 3 or 4 times and then take a longer break, like 15 to 30 minutes. And I did that all day yesterday until the end of the day, and I was super productive.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really so I've heard of the Pomodoro technique. I've looked it up a few times.
Yep.
I know over the years several of my marketing colleagues have touted the benefits of Pomodoro, and I've never actually used that specific technique. It sounds really great, and one of the things that we were talking about with the Get Shit Done work parties is the idea of trying some 90-minute work parties instead of 1 hour work parties. And I can imagine in 90 minutes doing 3 of the 25-minute chunks and 3 5-minute breaks, and that working well, right? I can
Hmm.
I can imagine that running smoothly.
Right.
So and probably having 3 specific things that you get done during that time. Bam, 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 knock it out, right?
Yep.
Get the squeeze page done, get the thank you page done, get the email in place, done. Now I have a
Right.
webinar registration, in 90
Yep.
minutes. Um, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, I think, and my understanding is that the Pomodoro technique is also, I believe that it's somehow not copywritten, or it's in the public domain to some degree. So even if we were to share it in our program, it wouldn't be like any kind of copyright infringement. Is
Cool.
my belief. We have to look that up, but
Yeah.
yeah, Pomodoro tech. So Pomodoro technique, what you just shared is a great example of how to create something beneficial and meaningful that you can share. And so,
Okay. Right. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
so for example, just to get back to webinars, right? Cool, positive focus, right? But
Yep.
like at the same time, it's directly addressing your question,
Oh,
which
it
is,
is. Right.
um, let's say when you were a kid,
Okay.
your dad taught you a very special boot tying technique that made it so that your boots just never came untied,
All right. I feel like he probably did.
and that you remembered it.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to imagine that you're out for a day-long hike in a national forest somewhere with 2 friends.
Yep.
Day hike, not anything particularly treacherous or crazy, just going out for a nice hike for the day. Maybe up a mountain, who knows? And after several miles, you notice that both of them have had to retie their boots like a couple of times. And pretty soon one of them starts grumbling about it. Right? And they keep on falling behind, all because of the boot tying situation. And so you're like, hey guys, I've noticed that your boots keep coming untied, and my dad taught me this cool technique when I was a kid. I could show you how to do it so your boots never come untied again if you want. They're probably going to be like, dude, show us, right?
Right.
And you could be like, or you can give me $10 and I'll do it for you. I'm kidding, right? Like, but that's an example of show them how to do it or do it for them, right? Like or you could do it for them, right? It would be that it's a favor. It's probably not something you're going to charge for, but it's an example of a real thing that you learned how to do, that you've done a whole bunch of times, that you can help someone with. And so it doesn't matter if it's a webinar. It doesn't matter if it's a video. It doesn't matter if it's a short. It doesn't matter if it's an ebook. It doesn't matter if it's a community or whatever. The medium usually isn't the limiter. You can pretty much share almost anything in almost any medium if you put your mind to it. Okay. Yep. But what does matter is that it's genuinely helpful and beneficial to the person, and that they want the type of help and that they want the type of benefit that it provides actively right now in the moment. So when you're talking about speaking from stage, or you're talking about doing a Facebook Live, or you're talking about doing a webinar, in all cases, very easily can be a 60-minute long presentation. I mean, you could make it a 6-minute presentation. You could make it a 6-hour presentation if you really wanted to. Well, most topics can scale up and scale down to be however long and however detailed you want to get into.
Sure.
But for argument's sake, if we're talking about the frame of a webinar, and we're talking about the frame of a sales webinar, right? And in this case, just to bring it back to you, your current sales process is basically people join your Facebook group, people register for your webinar, people come to your webinar, people get to the end, they then are interested in the product and the opportunity, and they book a call with you. They already know the price at that point?
Yes.
Great. And then they book a call with you, and then they join your program, and they buy one or more water ionizers, and they become a distributor either at the base level or at an accelerated level.
Yep.
And so if that is your market, if network marketers is your market, and you want to sell people who are interested and open to network marketing or want to get into network marketing, and you're selling them this particular opportunity, then when Kangen goes away, when you decide to stop selling it, or when they change something, or whatever, when for whatever reason you're no longer selling that opportunity, simply not available, doesn't matter why, I'd like you to ask the question, what are the problems, the challenges, and the struggles that you're following will have and do have, that have nothing to do specifically with Kangen?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So let's answer that question.
All right. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges? So I'd like you to answer the question first.
Okay. So would these be problems related to what, their life, or problems related to
Dude,
building an
dude, dude,
online
dude.
business, or could
Okay,
be
okay.
across the board?
Yeah. Let me simplify this for you.
Yep.
Kangen goes out of business. So let's say you get your business up to where you're making 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month consistently.
Yep.
And suddenly, by building your downline and your team and the whole thing, okay, you're earning passive income, working a couple hours a week, living the dream. Okay.
Yep.
Kangen goes belly up. Okay. And that happens 3 months from today. Okay. What problems are you facing?
What problems am I facing? I would be figuring out my next offer.
What are the problems?
What are the problems?
Yes, you'd be figuring out your next offer, but what are the problems? Why are you figuring out your next offer?
Um, I'd be figuring out my next offer because the one I was working with just went under.
Right? And why is that a problem?
um, Income is needed.
Right, your income just dried up. You have no
Yeah,
income.
exactly.
Okay, you suddenly went from having thousands of dollars a month in passive revenue income to nothing.
Yep.
Okay, so your income dried up, and so you need to find another way of making money. So are you going to go with another network marketing company, or are you going to go with something else?
Um, I guess it would depend upon what was, yeah, what was available. I mean, there's all kinds of things available, so that's not an issue. I mean, yeah, what would I do? Me personally, I would probably go directly to my art.
Okay, so cool. Let's get back to the problems.
Yep.
So you need to find something else to sell.
Yep.
Great. Um, let's say you were going to stay with network marketing.
Okay.
What else do you have to do?
Besides find another opportunity,
Yeah.
yeah, I would need to start promoting that opportunity.
So what's the problem?
The problem would be starting over, starting from square one.
Okay, starting from scratch, starting from square one. How do I start promoting a brand new network marketing opportunity I just started and got involved with, even if I have no following and no experience?
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
what else?
Um, I mean, I would need to start building my team,
So what's the problem?
getting people interested.
Yeah, you have no team and you're trying to get people interested, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so uh you need to find an opportunity. You need to figure out how to promote it. You need to
Yep.
figure out how to build a team. You need to figure out how to get people interested in the first place.
Yep.
What else?
Would need to train my team members how to get traction themselves. How to,
Even if and if someone's just starting from scratch, even if you don't know how to yourself.
right.
So how are you going to train team members to be successful when you don't know how to be successful yourself? That's a big problem. That's that's one of the many things that causes imposter syndrome.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So, Eric, I think that right there is one of the hugest things. And we've talked about it a little bit before, but let me tell you what I'm seeing.
Okay.
So, first of all, I asked ChatGPT the same question, and there's a whole lot more answers that you didn't cover. So there's a lot of things you can create content on, or do
Okay, cool.
webinars on, or do
Yep.
videos on that I'm going to read in a minute.
Great.
But first, of everything we've talked about, here's the thing that I think is one of the biggest. It's frustrating because they say 80-20. So 80% of your customers will never do anything, and 20% of your customers will make 80% of the money, right?
Right.
And like that generally is true. At the
Yep.
same time, how do we help more of our people be more successful, regardless
Exactly.
of the law of averages? How do we help more people go higher, right? Like that, I'm compelled to work in that direction. And
I know, I've always felt that too.
yeah, and at the same time, people like, again, it's like group dynamic. Some people want to put in the effort, some people don't. No matter how much you help them, they're not going to put in the effort. So that's also true.
I know, I've felt
So
that a lot. Yep.
on the other hand, if you haven't been successful in network marketing, if you just joined a new network marketing opportunity, you're perhaps a little bit on the introverted, antisocial side to begin with. Not good at networking, perhaps. Maybe you are good at networking, but you don't really know how to sell or whatever, all these things. So how do you become a leader? How do you sell people into an opportunity that you haven't gotten any results in yet? Right? Without feeling like a faker.
Right. Well, you can show them the results that thousands of other people are getting with the same opportunity.
That's true. You can.
Yep.
You can. So check this out, dude. This is a way of doing that. So you, Eric,
Yeah.
can create the training,
Yep.
and you can either create the training yourself, or you can go and enroll the top 10 network marketers in your opportunity, in this case, Kangen, or maybe other opportunities, if appropriate, to come in and co-teach the episodes with you, co-teach the modules with you, right? Which is
Right.
basically outline yourself a course on how to be a grade A network marketing super ninja. Okay.
Right.
And you host it, and then you bring in experts to talk on their areas of expertise, within the framework, and adjust your curriculum if you left anything out that you discover along the way, right?
Right. Right.
And now maybe it's just with Kangen, and maybe it's expanded, but either way, you're giving it away for free. And you can give it away, or probably for free. You can give it away in just a video series and an email drip sequence. You can give it away inside of a community. You can do a series of Facebook lives inside of a group.
Yep.
And have your videos in there, whatever. Even if you do give it away for free, if you make it great, you can also sell it with a sales letter, right?
Sure. Yep.
So you're not limited to one way or the other. You can transcribe it when you're done and sell it as an ebook, whatever. But you create the training to help people be super successful in network marketing with a lean toward Kangen.
Yep.
And now anybody that joins you in Kangen, and perhaps anybody that joins anywhere else that's in your downline, in your upline, you can be like, look, I created this amazing free training to help people be super successful with Kangen, so that people don't feel, and it's to put their team through before they're even team members, right? Or something like this, where it's like, or it's maybe you build it so, maybe you build it so there's a few free videos for prospects, but then they're like, once someone joins Kangen, send them to my community and I'll train them how to be a super Kangen distributor, because I've interviewed all the best people in Kangen, and it's just my way of like giving back. And I would encourage anybody that's inspired by these videos to invite friends and family in who are interested in network marketing and becoming better. And if you're not already in Kangen, please, like, by all means, join my webinar. I can tell you all about it.
Right.
But if somebody else brought you into the Kangen ecosphere, then you should call them. Like, always be sure to be like, if you're joining under somebody, join under them, not under me. But if you just, if somebody just invited you to this and they're not in Kangen yet and whatever, then you can feel free to join my webinar and book a call with me if you want to learn more,
Yep. Right.
But what ends up happening now is you recruit people and then they feel like an imposter and they don't know how to build a team, but they can send their people to the training that they went through, which is the training that you created, to help them with all the skills that they feel insufficiently experienced in to teach.
Right.
One way or the other, it's creating a free course that teaches all the stuff that people say that they need right now, and either create it yourself or interview somebody who can help you create it better. It's not that complicated. But and we can get more into the detail, but that's one specific piece that's just like, anyway, the reason I'm asking you, what are the problems that they have, right? What are the challenges that they have? What are the challenges that you would have if you were starting over again? Is because we really want to address, what are the difficulties, what are the challenges that new or seasoned. So here is the question that I asked. I asked ChatGPT, what are the struggles, challenges, difficulties, or problems that new and seasoned network marketers have and need help and assistance with? And it says network marketers, whether new or seasoned, face a variety of struggles, challenges, and roadblocks that can slow their success. Here are the biggest ones, right? And you touched on some of these, but you definitely didn't touch on all of them.
Okay.
Finding their first customers and recruits, struggles to get those first few yeses and build momentum. Overcoming fear of rejection, right? I'm just going to give you the bullets. I'll send you the thing later.
Okay, cool.
Not knowing what to say, right? Lack of trust and credibility. Marketing beyond friends and family. Time management. Shiny object syndrome. Tech overwhelm. Okay, sound familiar?
Yeah,
Right?
and like each of these is a topic for training, content. There's so many things I could do with each of those points.
Each one of these is a whole webinar, dude.
It is. I know. I feel that.
Easily.
Yep.
Team retention for seasoned network marketers. And this is interesting. So the first list was new network marketers. Seasoned network marketers are dealing with something different. And I'd like to point out that, like, a seasoned network marketer, there are going to be less of them, but they're going to be more trained.
Yep.
So team retention and duplication, scaling beyond their own efforts, burnout, attracting the right people, overcoming the industry stigma, adapting to new marketing strategies, internet specifically, too much reliance on one platform, lack of leadership development, cash flow problems, compliance, and regulations. Okay. So, like, there's this whole list of things, and that's like with a 1 second question I typed into ChatGPT. So those are topics. On the other hand, what could you, or what could one do on a webinar that is even more valuable, right? And so, or how can you deliver it in a way that people really, really want? It's interesting because one of the challenges with a sales webinar is what they say is, tell them what to do, sell them how to do it. That's what they say, right? Tell people what to do during the webinar, then sell them a solution on the how to do it. And that's true,
Right.
right? Like
Okay. So like tell them the framework and then sell them how to implement that.
right. Sell them the
Yep.
step-by-step guide, sell them the coaching
Yep.
program, sell them the home study course that goes into detail on how to implement everything, or
Yep.
sell the higher ticket done for you solution,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's totally reasonable. That works really good. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't make your webinar presentation inherently valuable. And so,
Yep.
but it is a very important framework to get good at. Like knowing how to do a good sales webinar where you're solving a problem, telling people what to do to solve the problem, and then selling a solution to the problem
Right.
is that's the majority of webinars. Okay, work this way, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've done many that way. But there's something cool about doing a presentation that is inherently valuable and then selling at the end. And the way that I like to do it, I like to do this is the taste test
Okay.
or the demonstration.
Yep.
And so there's a brilliant copywriter and marketer named Jason Parker. And Jason Parker, we interviewed him a few times, 2 or 3 times, with the Tellman and Feldman show.
Okay, cool.
And Jason is a copywriter, and he for many years was Matt Basak's right-hand man. Matt is a old friend of mine in the email marketing list building world. And Jason's a copywriter and a AI copywriting enthusiast. And he started a mastermind where I don't know what the pricing is right now, but it was $2,000 for the year. And then or maybe it was even $2,000 lifetime. I don't know what it was. It was
Okay.
$2,000.
Yeah.
And high level internet entrepreneurs were joining it. And what they were doing is he and 2 of his buddies that were highly skilled in using AI to create AI agents, like super smart AI bots that write 1,000 times better than just asking ChatGPT to do something for you,
Yep. Yep.
right? Like when you're actually working on a real project that needs to be extraordinary,
Mm-hmm.
you want something a little bit more sophisticated than just throwing a prompt at ChatGPT and expecting it to work out, right?
Right.
And so these AI agents work in all sorts of ways. They can string together multiple AI brains to work on a problem and write books or write really great sales letters and so on. And so what he started doing was he started going on other people's webinars and podcasts and video podcasts and live streams and doing a video demonstration of one of his AI agents at work. And so he wrote an agent, and you can go see this. He wrote an agent that will write an entire automatic clients style sales letter following Alan Sultanic's automatic clients sales letter format, which is a 30-page sales letter. Okay,
Wow.
there's huge. There's
Right.
a lot involved to do it
Yep.
right,
Yep.
and we gave Jason's AI agent the name of the product we were creating and like answered 3 simple questions and pressed go. And in front of our eyes on the live stream, the AI agent wrote a astonishing sales letter that was unbelievably accurate and relevant with no information from us, like so
Wow.
little. It was just amazing. And it gave me the chills. I was like, oh, that would have taken me Like that would have taken a good copywriter 2 months.
Wow.
Okay. Like full-time salary, you
Yep.
know? Like you'd pay a A-lister copywriter like 20 grand to write something like this.
Yep.
Okay. And he just kept on going and developing new AI agents in his mastermind. And so what they do is he and the other AI agent developers who've
Yep.
spent time learning how to build the agents go on in the mastermind calls with the students, with the other entrepreneurs who need agents, and they ask for what they want, and then everyone builds it together in real time, and then everyone gets the agent.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
so the mastermind is like this collective of legit entrepreneurs who have businesses who are using AI agents to write amazing copy and dramatically accelerate the progress of their business. And then every time you ask for what you want, everybody gets it. Right. And so unbelievable offer. And this is a way that a copywriter demonstrated the power of what he was doing. And in this case, he just gave us the sales letter as the hosts of the live stream, right? And we did this twice. And so it was really cool because Jason created something. He started doing essentially webinar demonstrations, taste tests, show people how awesome it is. In this case, he gave the hosts, us, a sales letter where I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So,
Yep.
and like anybody that read it also was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then made an offer to get more. Right. So this is a common practice with software as a service companies. So when you have a software, you get people to sign up for a live demonstration, and
Hmm.
often it's a scheduled live demonstration or a product tour, product walkthrough. You know,
Yep.
it's kind of like doing a tour of a house, right? Instead of expecting people to just buy it without ever seeing it, no, they'll give you a walk through the place, right? A demonstration. So what's something that you can do to help your audience based on the challenges and struggles that they're having, based that you listed, and perhaps some of the ones that ChatGPT listed earlier? What are some of the some of the things that come to mind that you can do in order to help people with some of these issues?
Right. I mean, so we touched earlier a little bit on like the short form video. That's one thing, and like you mentioned, it's one of those things that's a blip in time. It'll come in, it's in its heyday now, but it'll be replaced by something else. But underneath that, there's fundamentals that make short form video work. So it's like teaching those fundamentals to people, and that you can apply to whatever the vehicle is that you're using, whether it's short form video, live stream, something completely new. There's fundamentals that you use.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
yeah, just like basic marketing stuff. And that's something that I've learned extensively and have been a student and still a student of, and spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours learning and implementing. And yeah, that's something that I feel is of a lot of value to people that I could share. And there's so many different pieces of that.
There are a couple things on that.
Yep.
One is, yeah, I mean, dive deep and start teaching and sharing everything you know about short form video, but focus on getting better at it. And here's the
Hmm.
problem with it, Eric, which is that you're not making 100 grand a month with short form
Right.
video. Like you're learning it, but your results aren't astronomical yet,
Yep.
right? And so that doesn't mean they have to be in order for you to help people, but um, put a heavy emphasis on getting better results yourself.
Yep.
right? Because if the better your results are, the more people will believe what you have to say, right?
Yeah.
If you do a bunch of short form videos and nobody's liking or commenting on them or whatever, or
Yep.
responding, like nobody's going to believe you.
Right. I mean, for example, I do have some videos that got, over 1 million views. And
Awesome.
there's a couple of those that, I posted like 2 years ago, and they're still getting views. They're still attracting new followers. They're still getting comments on them like
Make
two
more
years.
like that.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yep.
follow your own advice then. Like
Okay. Yep.
do one of those a week.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Assuming that formula still works, and if it doesn't, find a new one, right?
Yep.
But okay, so one of the things to be aware of is that nobody wants to learn the fundamentals of anything. So that's a situation of sell them what they want, give them what they need. All right. So what they do want is the hottest marketing trend. What they really need is to understand why it's the hottest marketing trend and how it works under the hood.
Okay.
What they
Yep.
want is a bunch of easy traffic and a bunch of free money. Okay. But what they need is to actually learn marketing. Right. And so,
Yep.
as you're thinking about what you're putting out there, just remember that sometimes, sometimes you have to wrap what you're teaching them in what they want so that they'll get in there and open it in the first place,
All right.
So that's one piece, but think about outside of when we're talking about, okay, so I guess I'm lucky with hypnosis because I can do hypnosis, but I can help anyone with almost any topic. So it's a super flexible thing where I'm like, oh, what do you have that's like hypnosis? But hypnosis has some unique properties, right? However, dude, here's what you could do. So if you went in and you messaged every single one of your Facebook group members.
Yep.
And your goal was to get them to ask you a question about something they're struggling with right now as it relates to being a network marketer or, making money with their business or side hustle. Like, you just want to know, ideally, what's their biggest question? And you can get some of those people to answer, hopefully, if you do some of those image posts in your group, asking them, what's their single biggest question or struggle as it relates to network marketing, or, as a network marketer, what are you struggling with the most with right now? Right. You can get the ball rolling and get the pump primed by asking a one-to-many group question. But ultimately, you can ask that same question in messenger conversations with everyone.
Yep.
So if you ask that question in messenger conversations with everyone, and then every day you do a video addressing one question, a few things happen. First, you're doing short form video every day in the group from questions you got from people in the group. You're giving attention to your group members. You're helping them directly because they're in your group.
Yep.
You're asking them how they are, what they're struggling with, or what they need help with right now. And then you're doing your best to answer it. And when you answer that question, you know what you should say after they ask you the question about what they're struggling with the most right now? You can be like, that's an awesome question. I'd like to make you a video about that. Do you mind if I use your name in the video, or would you rather be anonymous? Do you mind? I'd love to make you. I'd love to make you a video about that and post it because a lot of people have that question in the group. Can I use your name in the video, or would you rather be anonymous? Okay.
Right.
Ask that question as well.
Okay.
and always give complete anonymity if they ask for it, of course.
Right.
But if you can use their name, it's great because they're a member of the group and it shows it's like real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now you're finding out what the struggles of the people in your group are, not what ChatGPT says, not what you're guessing, what their struggles are.
Yep.
And you're helping them to solve their problems on a daily basis without selling anything, because it has
True.
nothing to do with Kangen. It has to do with them and their struggles and their problems,
Yep.
right? And you then are helping them. And so what you have, and again, I'm giving myself the same advice right now, Eric, because like
Okay.
I'm in the same boat.
All right.
But what you're doing is you're simply caring for your community and giving them what they're asking for. And that is something that exceeds all bounds. It's like that. I mean, I might help people with hypnosis. You might help people in a different way. Curtis might help people in
Sure.
a different way,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Depends on the nature of their problem and how you go about helping people. And so that's really what I'm getting at here, dude, is like put the water ionizers away for a minute and let's focus on how we can help people. And it will, like, you go and you help 1,000 people and the way that you help people is going to surface,
True. Yep.
right?
Okay.
But you already have, 300-400 people who theoretically want to make more money and be more successful and are maybe open to network marketing. And so those are all prospects. And I guarantee that nobody else in any of the other groups that they're in are asking them what the problems are in a group and individual basis, and then making videos to help solve those problems on a daily basis. And
Probably
and
not.
again,
Yep.
the way you solve those individual problems are shorts, because that's what you're going to be teaching,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So use the medium to your advantage.
Okay. Cool.
But like that, I mean, that's the quickest path, dude. That's the fastest path, is just enter into conversation with every single one of them. And if I were you, I'd make a list of the things that they tell you. Be like, Bobby Sue, depression; Matilda, anxiety;
Yeah.
Jessica, scarcity mindset, you know, recruiting, what, or a whole sentence or phrase if they give it to you.
Yep.
But those topics that they, and the topics that come up repeatedly, those are the topics you do webinars on,
Yep. Okay.
right? The struggles and challenges. And so, yeah, I mean, those are the topics that you do webinars on. And, how to overcome anxiety when talking to people for network marketers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How to overcome imposter syndrome and stop feeling like a fraud when you just joined a network marketing opportunity. People would freaking opt into that all day long, dude.
True. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So that's my recommendation, dude, is
Okay. Cool.
focus on the problems that they have, and then you focus on how you can help them solve it. And if along the way you can find a way of demonstrating or directly giving, instead of just giving them advice, can you give them an experience? Can you walk them through an exercise? Can you bring them through a process where they have an aha moment or an insight because you've brought them through a process in some way, shape, or form?
Okay. Yeah.
And who knows, dude? Maybe the answer is you need to become a hypnotist. Maybe that's the answer to this whole
Maybe.
thing. You know, like
Right.
I don't know. But it's the key is really getting clear on the problem or problems that they want help with, and communicating clearly to them that you're helping them and how you're helping them, and then helping them. Frank Kern, colleague and mentor,
Hmm.
brilliant marketer and entrepreneur, has been saying this funny thing for years is, something like help them by helping them. It's just like you want to get people's attention, like start by actually helping them. And
Sure. Yep.
so write a short report or make a video training in a webinar or in a video that like legitimately helps people with the problem that they have, and lead with that.
Okay. Yep.
Right. These so much there's so much hype out there now about all these big promises that end up with a empty hole and a sales pitch. And if you actually want to gain any kind of trust and connection with your
Hmm.
prospects, and you want people on your team who are actually paying attention and want to be there,
Yep.
focus on helping people first. They'll definitely, it'll definitely work.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. That gives me a lot to work with. And yeah, one question is, okay, I mean, in the webinar you did where you were just, basically delivering a free hypnosis session during the webinar,
Right.
it naturally led to your offer at the end, which was
Right.
you can work with me on, one-on-one sessions or whatever
There are
your
lots of different offers that you can make.
yeah, lots of different offers, right? And yeah, I guess my question is, with these other types of webinars where I'm delivering value, helping them with their problems, how or yeah, how would I lead that then to my offer, or do I in that webinar, or is that just a separate webinar completely?
I mean, well, you could do either one.
Yep.
So you have to get specific so that we can bridge the gap. So what's the topic?
Okay, let's say I am teaching a webinar on how to build an authentic brand.
Do you think people that are trying to join someone else's network marketing gig want to build an authentic brand?
I mean, they're going to need one if they want to get anywhere with it.
Yeah, but they're kind of trying not to have to do that by joining a network marketing company. They're trying to tag onto someone else's brand.
I
Right?
mean, yeah, you kind of need a personal brand to operate a network marketing
Well,
opportunity.
let's go to something
That's
more
like,
basic.
all
Let's go to
right, yep,
something more basic, more entry level,
yep,
dude.
all right, sure.
So like what's something that a newbie network, so again, don't think about what people need, think about what they want, right? What a newbie network marketer, they work maybe, let's just say, married, twins, 18 months, husband works full time at a corporate job, makes enough money to pay all the bills, but mom is unfulfilled, and they don't make as much money as they'd like to, and so she's always had a strong drive and has wanted and has worked for herself before, but needs a flexible situation, and so has some money, but isn't wealthy. Nice house, kind of keeping up with the Joneses, right?
Yep.
Probably driving a Tesla, but the cheapest one, right? And so, what's top 3 problems that she has that she knows she has?
Okay. She probably has some fears about trying something completely new and different.
Okay.
Fears about starting a business. What if I fail? What are people are gonna say? What if I look dumb?
Yeah,
All of those.
self-confidence
Yeah.
issues.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Great. Confidence is a great topic. So, self-confidence, self-worth, and self-belief for network marketers. For newbie and seasoned network marketers alike. If your self-confidence is suffering, attend this amazing transformational webinar to supercharge your confidence, increase your sales, and magnify your self-worth. Okay?
Right.
60 minutes of transformation with Eric Oliver. Okay? Cool. So you're going to do a webinar on self-confidence. And you want to know how to, just out of curiosity, do you have 1, 2, or 3 techniques or stories that you would tell about self-confidence and how to develop it as a network marketer?
I don't have anything developed, but that's something I could work out pretty easily, I think.
Okay, well, what are some things that you might teach people?
Um,
Or teach people or tell people about self-confidence? Life lessons. Your life lessons.
yeah, I mean, it's ultimately there's this idea that's implanted in the mainstream population that you have to do what everybody else is doing, and that's the only way there is to do it. And it's been my experience, not just in creating a business, but in the life that I've lived since I left my home, that there's a whole realm of possibilities outside the box. You can choose any path you want in life and create any kind of life that you want to live. And I've lived some very alternative style lives in this life. And yeah, I don't know if that's really confidence related, but it's helping people to think more outside the box that would put them in a better mindset to take action on their dreams and to actually dare to dream bigger.
Okay. So telling 1 or 2 stories about daring to dream and then trying it and how it all worked out for you would be a good example.
Yep.
Leading people through a guided meditation would be a good example.
Yep.
Bringing in an expert hypnotist to talk about confidence could be a good example.
Could be, right. Yep.
Bringing in an author or motivational speaker could be a good example.
Yep.
Again, you can do in about 5 seconds, you can go to ChatGPT and ask for 5 different exercises that you could walk people through on webinars to boost their self-confidence. Like
true.
It's
Yep.
waiting
Okay, cool.
for you, right? So you can learn this stuff quickly.
Exactly.
And so you do 20 minutes of tell them what you're going to tell them. You're going to do 20 minutes of telling them, and then you're going to do 20 minutes of telling them what you told them. And so the way it would go is, hi, my name's Eric Oliver, and like you, I am a network marketer. Whether you are a seasoned network marketer, whether you're a newbie network marketer, or whether you're considering going into network marketing or what we call direct sales, this webinar is all about self-confidence, how to build it, where to get it, how to create it, especially when you're starting with a new network marketing opportunity and you haven't made your first sale yet. How do you develop the confidence to sell an opportunity, to sell something that you haven't been successful with yet. That's exactly what we're going to tackle during today's presentation. I'm going to tell you a couple stories about my experience with self-confidence and how I've built it in myself. And then I'd like to share with you a kind of like a meditation technique that you can use in order to boost your own self-confidence. And, you know, one of the things is that I've worked with a few different companies over the years, and I've settled with Kangen. For those of you that don't know, Kangen is a Japanese-based company. They've been around for 35 years. They
50
have
years.
what?
50.
Oh, gee, I'm just making
Yep.
stuff up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking off the top of my
All right. Yep.
however many years, 50 years. And they have one of the most astonishing water ionizers on the market today. If drinking healthy, clean, pure water is important to you, then you're going to love what comes out of a Kangen water ionizer. Anyway, I choose to work with Kangen, but what we're going to be learning about here today is you can build self-confidence in any business, in any activity with what you're going to learn here today. But we're going to be slanted and focused on specifically developing self-confidence in common areas where network marketers find themselves falling short and need a boost, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Kangen opportunity. And so if you aren't involved with Kangen yet and you want to be, then I'm going to share with you exactly how and why it's so powerful and why it's my network marketing company of choice. So get ready, because we're going to have an awesome time together. And I want you to be sure to stay on to the very end of the presentation, because if you like the presentation, I'm going to tell you at the end how you can get a recording. Okay. So now what has happened is you did the setup, you tell a story about some way, shape, or form that you supercharged your own self-confidence when you had none, right? Or how you helped someone else to improve their self-confidence. And then you walk them through an exercise or a meditation or a hypnosis session or whatever it is. You teach them about affirmations. I mean, there's a million different ways to improve your self-confidence. You teach them the mastermind principle and about spending time with people that you want to become like instead of spending time with people who are like you, right? These types of things. And then naturally at the end, you know, you finish up the whatever it is, meditation, visualization, exercise, and then you say, awesome. So how was that for everybody? Please, by all means, I want to go into a Q&A. So any questions that you have about anything that we've covered so far, questions you have about the technique or the exercise I just walked you through, any questions that any of you have about Kangen, I'm very happy to answer them. Kangen is awesome. I'm drinking a glass of Kangen ionized water right now. Look, I can even light it on fire. And yeah, Kangen's awesome. The top three reasons that I choose Kangen. Number one is, it sounds a little cliche, I realize, but number one is the comp plan. It's amazing. Number two is the product. Number three is the people, right? or whatever, you know. And so the comp plan is super aggressive. It's, 450,000 levels deep. You know, you can, whatever. You can make over $100,000 a year with only 100 people on your team. Or whatever. And again, I'm making this up, everyone, that's watching right now. Anyway, you can explain the details of the comp plan, and then as you're answering common questions about the comp plan, you could throw up an image or two or three
Right. Sure.
about the
Yep.
comp plan. And then you could go into common questions about the water, about the product, right? And you could throw in common questions about visualization, and then so maybe you come to the table with your third part of your webinar, your Q&A section, with 15 questions preloaded on slides, and they're all questions that allow you to easily teach about the comp plan, the opportunity, and the product.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And in the meantime, you pay attention to questions that people are asking in the chat, and you either wait until you're done with all your slides to address them. But if I were you, I'd sprinkle them in. I would sprinkle in questions based on topic. So as you're, looking, look at all the questions, and when you go into questions about Kangen and the comp plan, do your common questions and then address the personalized questions. Bobby Sue from Jacksonville, Florida wants to know, how much money do I make with someone from my second level or something?
Yeah.
Whatever. And so, and then as you move into questions about motivation or questions about the meditation or whatever, you can have a few of those loaded up on the slides. And so anyway, the point is you can direct the flow of the conversation. And these days I would, there are a lot of ways that you can format a webinar and a lot of different techniques that have been used over the years as it's evolved. My feeling is that, and maybe I'm wrong, but my feeling in the marketplace, in the world, is that people can smell a sales presentation coming a mile away. And if you aren't forthright about the fact that you're selling something, you're going to turn everybody off and they're going to jump ship the moment you talk about spending money.
Yeah. I like what you shared earlier about how, tell them what you're going to tell them. And that in that segment, mention that you're going to be selling something at the end or presenting an offer.
Assuming you have a bunch
Like
of
up
people
front.
on there. Yeah. Assuming you have a bunch of people on there who are interacting in the chat and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You want to have a bunch of interaction throughout your webinar, especially at the beginning, but throughout the webinar, you want to have people typing in where they're calling in from. Are they a newbie or are they a seasoned network marketer? What company are they in? Or what opportunity do they currently work with?
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to go on to basically say something along the lines of, awesome, everybody, you can all hear me. I'm coming through okay. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Great. So here's how this is going to go. It's going to be about an hour, might go an hour and a half if we have lots of questions at the end, right? We're doing the introduction here, blah, blah, blah. We're inviting you all in, saying hi to everybody. And after this initial section is done, we're going to go into our self-confidence building exercise. And then at the end, I'm going to answer all your questions and share with you why I think Kangen water ionizers is the single best opportunity that there is out there for network marketers in the world right now. And if that's of interest to you, then stay on to the end. And I'm also going to let you know how you can apply to join my team if that seems like an appropriate match. And at the end, I'll share with you how you can get a recording of this session that we did today. So be sure to stay on and pay attention to the very end. And so would that be okay? Is it okay if I share with you why I think Kangen is absolutely the best opportunity in the world? If you guys say yes, like, let me know in the comments. If you all say no, I won't tell you anything about it. And inevitably, if you're like chill about it and just kind of silly, they're all like, yeah, tell us about it. That's cool.
Yep.
The way that I did this, so I learned how to do this when my private hypnosis practice in like 2002. Okay. And what I did was I had a hypnosis office set up in the basement of a Curves for Women, which is a women's weight loss fitness gym. Lots of, and I think they're still in business, but it's franchised. It was a huge franchise for quite a few years. And I managed to rent out a room that was only used one day a week by a massage therapist.
Okay.
And there was no windows. It was like all gray inside. It was not, it was like finished. It has a nice carpet and whatever, but it was like in a basement and it was dark. It was weird. But I made a deal with the owner of Curves for Women. I said, rather than paying you $300 a month or whatever you want for rent, what if I paid you 1/3 of everything that I earned while working within your walls? And I'll give every single one of your members a free hypnosis session with me.
Cool.
And so what I did was people came in, they'd sign up on a clipboard. I had my schedule, my availability on schedule, and they'd put in their name and their phone number to fill out a space on my schedule. And for their free session. And I trained the staff at the front desk how to ask people if they'd like a free hypnosis session with our resident hypnotist, help them lose weight faster and have more motivation to exercise. A lot of people said yes and filled out the clipboard. And so on, it started 1 day a week. As I was in there 1 day a week. And so, sometimes I'd come in and there'd only be 2 or 3 people on the calendar, and there'd be an hour or two space in between them, which was kind of a bummer at first, but it was okay, and then a client would come in and I'd say, hey, welcome, first session, blah, blah, blah. I'm Tellman. I'm a hypnotist. Here's how hypnosis works. So this is a totally free session, but it's also the first session in my hypnotic weight loss series. Most of my clients come to me for at least 6 sessions to get the ball rolling. So, or 7 sessions. Yeah, I played around with the number. So this is their first session. And if you like it and you want to talk about doing more hypnosis sessions, I'll happily share with you all the details at the end. But for now, let's just get to the hypnosis so you can actually see what it's like and experience it for yourself. Okay, cool. Right. And so that way they know, like normally I would charge you $75 for the session, but I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm going to record it and I'm going to give you a tape when you're done and that you can walk out with, even if you never do any more hypnosis with me. Cool. And then people are very happy with that. Right. And so I would give away a free hypnosis session, which is very similar to giving away a free webinar. Okay. They would come to the free hypnosis session and I would hypnotize them. And more often than not, I said almost exactly the same thing to every person during the hypnosis session. It was because it was just like laying the foundation, covering the basics. I would customize it a little bit based on what they told me. But it was an introductory session, right? And then at the end, I'd bring them back out. I'd ask them how their experience was of hypnosis. And I'd say, cool. So that's your first session. Here's the, I'd pull the tape out of the tape recorder. And then I'd say, so do you want to talk about continuing working together, or is that all you want to do? And 80% of the people who took the free session would continue working with me.
Wow. Okay.
And then what I do is, so I said at the beginning that this was the first in my 7-session series. So what we can do is we can book you for the remaining 6 sessions once a week for the next 6 weeks. And that's either $75 per session, or you can get a $75 discount if you pay all at once in advance, which would be $375 instead of $450. And 80% of the people would pay in advance. So 80% of the people said yes to working together in the future, and then 80% of those people paid in advance.
Awesome.
And so I went from free sessions to getting paid in advance a month and a half or longer in advance, because I only had so many slots in my schedule and they could only come in once per week. And so people were writing me checks and giving me cash. And every day when I'd walk out the door, I'd write a check to the Curves for Women owner. And everybody was, I was giving away free hypnosis sessions and everybody was making a lot of money and was very happy. And it became the single biggest profit center for Curves, because it was completely hands-free cash. Right. And all it did was I was hypnotizing all of their members to come in and exercise more often and like be more committed to their weight loss goals. which the clients wanted too. So why am I telling you about all of this? That's the question. I had like it was an interesting direct response thing. It was a way of giving people a taste test. Oh, well, I guess it is following that kind of webinar format. That's why okay. Yeah. Because what I ended up doing with the new hypnotist, to launch the new hypnotist, is I took that same model and I applied it to an evergreen webinar for a product called the prosperity process. And I did the exact same thing in 2010. So, my original hypnosis practice was in like 2002, but then in 2010 we launched the prosperity process online, and it was a free prosperity hypnosis session on an evergreen webinar platform. And instead of calling it a webinar, and instead of saying schedule your webinar, choose the date and time that works for you, I said schedule your hypnosis session or schedule your hypnosis appointment, right? For the date and time that works for you. But it was pre-recorded, right? And it was a pre-recorded free session for the prosperity process. Same price points. And that built $1 million business, that one evergreen webinar, right out of the gate. And by doing a free session, roughly 60 minutes, introduction, hypnosis session, pitch. And during the introduction, it made it very clear that the session they were experiencing was a real value session that normally they'd pay money for. And if they want to know more at the end about continuing, then you'd happily share all the details. So that's the format. It's not terribly complicated, right? And you can supercharge your sales process a million different ways from there. But that's the basic 3-part structure.
Cool. I like that.
That you can use to transition from almost any topic. You have to be focused on a topic that's relevant and important to your people right now. And then be very open and clear about what you're selling and promoting and why, kind of throughout, so that people are looking forward to hearing about the details when you're done, instead of shocked that you're selling something at the end.
Right. Yeah, I feel that's important.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful.
Cool. Awesome. Rock and roll. Well, another long session today.
Right? Yeah, it was.
Without a lot of chatter from the audience.
It's been quiet out there today.
No comments yet. Very interesting. All right, rock and roll. So I wonder why that is. It's hard to tell. Well, let's do a couple quick commercial breaks.
Sounds good.
So, number one, if you're not already a member of Get Shit Done, then go over to getshitdone.com and join our free community while it's still free. We just opened our community back up for free lifetime membership. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to get more shit done, getshitdone.com is the place to be. That's commercial number one. Commercial number two is the Pure Path to Prosperity, Eric's extraordinary Facebook group for network marketers. Tell us about it, Eric.
That's right. So Pure Path to Prosperity is my Facebook group, and I want to share a little bit about that in a minute. But first, I just want to talk about how you probably see me showing up here on these live streams every day, kind of in a student role, and just learning a lot, absorbing a lot from Tellman every day as a mentor, as a coach. And inside the Pure Path to Prosperity is where I'm going to be sharing a lot, and you can start learning from me all the things that I've been learning from Tellman and from elsewhere, other mentorship programs that I've been involved with over the years. And this is where I'm going to be helping you get from where you're at currently in your life. If you're feeling stuck, if you're grinding away at a job that feels unfulfilling, maybe you're making money, but it's keeping you away from your house, away from your family, away from the people that you love and the things that you love doing. I'm going to be helping lead you from there to the life that you want to create. And where you're able to spend more time with your family, work from home. And I'm going to be sharing about the opportunity that I'm working with Kangen Water. And I'm actually presenting a webinar tonight, the Wave of Prosperity webinar. So if that sounds interesting to you to learn about this opportunity with high ticket sales and these incredible Japanese water ionizers that are at the core of this business, go to my Facebook group, Pure Path to Prosperity. You can look it up on Facebook or click the link in the description of this video, and I'll see you there. And yeah, inside the group, there's a post where you can request the link for the registration page to the webinar. So Pure Path to Prosperity. And yeah, I look forward to just connecting and sharing all the things that I've been learning over the years. I've been building this business for the past 5 years, and I've taken my learning and education on what works, what doesn't work very seriously. So yeah, I'm excited to share with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that webinar tonight. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how your whole webinar process continues to evolve. Should be great.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm stoked on
Awesome.
that.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Eric, thank you for co-hosting as normal. If you want to start teaching some stuff on Get Shit Done, bring it to the table. Happy to.
Absolutely.
We don't always have to focus on questions. If you have some things that you want to share with people that you think would be relevant to the audience, it's a great place to practice.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Rock and roll. Awesome. You know what time it is?
Time to get shit done.
It's time to get shit done. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning. This is Tellman. That's Eric.
This is Eric. Over and out.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.